Hi, fourth grade friends. So today we're going to start correcting our homework, and then we're going to talk about prime and composite numbers today. So let's take a look at our homework from last night. On page 397, we had to do the odd problems. So up in the top part, you needed to list the first 5 multiples of each number. So for problem number 1, you should have 12, 24, 36, 48, 60. For number 3, you should have 40, 80, 120, 160, 200. Number 5, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. And number 7, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250. Then on the bottom, you needed to tell me if the first one was a multiple or not. So when we did number 9, if we go through our multiples of 7, we would land on 21. For number 11, if we go through our multiples of 3, we will never land on 17, so that's a no. 13 is a yes, 15 is no, 17 is no, and 19 is also no. Then on the back, you had just 3 problems. 21, you had to figure out, was 6 a multiple or a factor? Well, we know if we go through our multiples of 12, so we're going to have our number 12. If we go through our multiples of 12, will we ever land on 6? 12, 24, nope, way too big. So 6 is a factor then. It's used to make 12. 22 is 8 a multiple or a factor of 4? So now we go through our multiples of 4. 4, 8, 12, well, we already had 8, so 8 is a multiple. We can double check by thinking, can we make 4 using 8? Is it a factor? Nope, we can't. Good. Then, for 25, we had Paolo's family arriving at the reunion at 8:30. How long do they have before the trip? Well, they arrive at 8:30, and the trip doesn't start till 10:15. So I would think 8:30 to 9:30, 9:30 to 10, and then 10 to 10:15. So 8:30 to 9:30 is 1 hour. 9:30 to 10 is 30 minutes, plus 15 minutes is 45 minutes. All right. So that was all we had for our homework yesterday. So now let's go ahead and get our notebook page out and ready. All right. So I'm going to move this guy over here. Perfect. Okay. So today, fourth grade friends, we're talking about prime and composite numbers. Now these seem like really confusing vocabulary words, but they're not. So what we're going to do first is just cross off this glue here. Just right like that. Just cross it off, okay? And we are going to write prime numbers above this one. Prime numbers. And then we're going to come on this side and we're going to write composite numbers. Perfect. So today we're going to be able to tell whether a given number between 1 and 100 is prime or composite. Well, we need to start by figuring out what these vocabulary words mean. Prime numbers. Prime numbers is, it only has 2 factors. 1 and itself only has 1 factor pair. Think back to our homework from the other day. Do you remember when we had that 7 and you found that the factors were 1 and 7? Yeah. So that is an example, like 7. We have 1 times 7, and that's it. Those are the only factor pairs that we have. Okay? So that makes that prime if it only has 1 in itself. Then composite is if it has 3 or more factors. They have more than one factor pair. Another way that I like to remember that a number is prime is I like to write out the word prime. P-R, but instead of an I make it a 1. P-R-I-M-E. This is to remind me that it has one factor pair. And if it's not prime, it has to be composite. Okay? So it's either prime or it's composite. Every single whole number. Okay? That's why we say whole number, because we don't do like 1 1/2. That doesn't work. It has to be a whole number. So let's look down here. Okay? First, we want to think of all of our factors for the number. Then we have to decide if it's prime or composite, and we have to say, how do we know? So let's think through 5. What factors work with 5? 1 times 5, good. All right, let's go on to our next one. This 2. 2 times, nope. 3 times, nope. 4, and we're back at 5. So I know that 5 is prime, so I would write a P. And my reason is only 2 factors. It only has 2 factors. What about 11? Think through 11. Oh, we know 1 and 11. Does 2 work? 3? 4? 5? 6? 7? 8? 9? 10? And we're back to 11. So I know that 11 is also prime. And my reason, how do I know? Once again, only 2 factors. So I want you to try 15. What do you think about 15? Is that prime? It only has the 2 factors. Or is it composite? Well, it is actually composite. Why is it composite? Well, it has 1, right? And we can also use 3, 5, and 15. So it has more than that 1 pair. Try 16. 16 definitely is composite because its factors are, I know 1 can go in, can 2 can, 4, 8, and 16. I'm thinking through my factor pairs. Okay, so now, 4th grade friends, what you're going to do over here on the right, use a different color marker like a highlighter or a blue marker or a pink one, whatever you want. I'm going to do this yellow. I'm going to do yellow. So what I'm going to go through and do is highlight all of the prime numbers only. Prime numbers. Okay. So I'm looking. Well, I know is 1 prime. All right, so we're thinking through. Sorry, I had to step away for a second. Thinking through all of these numbers, and we're going to highlight the ones that are prime. Think through, to be prime, it has to have only 2 factors. So think through, it can have only 2. All right, so go ahead and highlight these for me. And then tell me what you think. What do you observe about prime numbers? What observations can you make about composite numbers, the ones that aren't highlighted then? Pause the video while you find those answers and ideas. All right, so let's take a look. You should have highlighted 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31, 37, 41, 43, 47, 53, 59, 61, 67, 71, 73, 79, 83, and 89, and one more, 97. So now, think through, what do you notice about all the prime numbers, the ones that we highlighted? Looking up and down at the columns, I noticed something. I notice all except 2 are not off. They're odd. So all of those prime numbers, except for number 2, are in odd columns. So pretty much most prime numbers are odd. But are all prime numbers odd? Take a look. Is 9 odd? 9 is odd. Is it prime? No, it's composite. So then we can notice about composite numbers, the ones that aren't highlighted. It kind of jumps around a bit. So let's take a look. We noticed that all prime numbers were odd except for 2. What do you notice about composite numbers? Well, this time all even numbers are composite except 2. And 1. Did you notice that we didn't highlight 1 at all? But is that composite? Does it have 3 factors? It only has 1. So let's circle number 1. This makes it special. This is the only whole number that is neither. Let's write that up above. N-E-I, T-H-E-R. 1 is neither. It's not prime and it's not composite. But every other number is. It has to be. 1 is the only special one that is neither. Because it's 1 times 1. So if I had to list out my factors in a line, I would only have the number 1. I want to put 1 twice. Remember how we didn't put 6 twice when we had 6 times 6? So 1 only has 1 factor. It's so crazy. Just mind-boggling. All right, so that's what we're doing for our lesson. Then let's take a look at our homework for tonight. Turn in your math books to page 391 to start to pause if you need more time. So 391, you're going to do this bottom part, 5 through 16. You have to tell me if it's prime or composite, just like we did in our notebook page down here, except you don't even have to tell me how you know. You just have to tell me this time, is it prime or composite? And you can do a P or a C like we did in our notebook page. I'm okay with that. Then we got 2 on the back. 18. We talked a lot about this. Think through. Are all odd numbers prime? Are all odds prime? Okay, and then 20, you're going to use your vocab words prime, and you're going to use composite to fill in the blanks. So think back through what each word means. What does prime mean? What does composite mean? And that's all we have for our homework today. Let me know if you have questions. Remember, you can always rewatch the video and pause at parts that you need, okay? I will see you soon.